Welcome to the Big O Money Show. Bill Altman here with my co-host Tony Shore from the Premier Advisory Group right here in the Big O in Omaha. I hope everybody's summer is going fantastic. I know mine is. I know we're keeping darn busy in here and we're preparing for the big party, Tony. That's for sure. That's the big happening around here now.
The big parking lot party. It's
right.
going to be huge.
Yes.
In the words of it'll be bigly. That's a bigly party.
It'll be huge. Yeah. So
one big beautiful party, Bill. That's for sure.
But in all seriousness, it's celebrating Billie's career as a worker, right? And she's retiring, which is fantastic. And that's what we do here. Billie Hancock, a lot of you know her, have talked to her. She's been at our front desk for many years. Fantastic client, still a client, but prior to then a client. So we've been so fortunate to work with her all these years, and she's done such a great job. We said, hey, let's throw her a party, and we're going to call it the parking lot party. So we have live music. We're going to have fantastic food. Tony Shore can't be there, unfortunately.
Oh, I was gonna, and I can't believe I have to miss it. I mean, the food, the music. I'm really bummed that I can't be there. I'm going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, unfortunately, and just I couldn't work out the timing. Sorry.
And really building out like a production studio. You're going to be helping a really good friend of yours in the music and radio business, right?
Yes, I am. There's a couple things going on. There's a work event, and I'm going to be helping set up a music room for a friend with really nice, get the studio monitor set up for him and all his equipment set up. And I love helping people do that. And it's one of the things I do. So I'm going to be out there doing that.
As you did for me too. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yep. And you're looking and sounding good. I mean, it takes some tweaks, but I think you've got it going there. You really have, and you know what you're doing. So, but that room looks great too, the way you have it set up. So
thanks. Yeah, I'm only going to get better. I have all kinds of visions, Tony. So
I know you do. I know we could put some soundproofing materials up on the wall. I think that would be cool. And
and when this airs, I'll probably be getting close to leaving the hotel room in Tennessee, in Knoxville, at the Tennessean, it's called, getting Michaela moved into her dorm there in old Knoxville. So that will be exciting. And we'll get her. We're going to drive her down there on Saturday morning and then Sunday morning. So this is right when you're listening right now. I'm moving Michaela into a dorm.
Wow.
So we're right around the corner from doing that, leave here in a couple days. And that will be a lot of fun. Sad, happy, a lot of emotions involved. Very excited for her, very busy. So we're driving down there 13 and a half hours. We'll stay the night in the hotel. We'll get her in, stay another night in the hotel, head back to Omaha. And then she's off. And then we're down to one in the house. Got 2 in college, 1 in the house. So I'll have plenty of time to make over this studio a few times, Tony.
Yeah, there you go.
Tuition outflow. Jeez. There goes my retirement.
You're gonna have to take out a second mortgage or a third mortgage to get the kids through school.
Do a couple mowing jobs.
You might have to pick up a couple of mowing jobs.
That's right. So
anyway, handiwork.
Yeah, so that's kind of the new thing here. We got all kinds of action, but it is a lot of fun. We have great things going on with markets, and markets are doing what markets do. I hate to say, we say that all the time, don't we? But at the end of the day, people have to remember that it's consistency. It's a time in the market versus timing of the market. So we're still seeing upward. We still believe that we're 3/4 of the way in or so to a 25-year bull market. So we still believe that things are progressing in that direction. Interest rates, again, held steady. We talked about that last week. But we do believe that we will see drops. Unemployment, current claims filing, the ones that they keep filing, they stay current, has increased week over week. This was report ending July. We have new filings up again also. So new filings increase. So we're talking a high since 2021.
Some encouraging numbers.
Well, right? That's jobless claims.
Oh,
so jobless people are filing. I apologize for unemployment numbers.
Unemployment. I'm sorry.
Unemployment. Yeah, if I misspoke,
the stock markets have been up too.
Right. So, does it come in where we're going to start easing in the inflation a little bit more, where the Fed steps in and does lower interest rates? So that still may be a possibility for the year. A lot of analysts believe it will be. So we'll see. And that usually props up markets. But again, I was talking to a good friend over the week this week here, letting them know that it's nice when those rates come down, but remember, it's less money, less interest on our current money.
Right. And so especially for like seniors who are relying on that growth,
Right.
things like CDs, MIGAs,
And safe growth.
and
Remember,
safe
we go.
growth. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And otherwise we have to take risk in order to get
Yeah.
any yield. And for so long, we haven't talked about this in a little while, but for so long we were chasing yield. We were trying to find rates, dividends, interest, something, because banks were paying nothing, CDs were paying nothing, treasuries were paying nothing. I mean, when I say nothing, next to nothing. And everybody remembers this, but we were getting mortgages for 2% and 3% too. So everything, when things go down, everything goes down. So when you're investing and you have your retirement money, we have to try to find this yield. Where do we get it? Then you end up having to take risk. And so that's where portfolios that we are so excited about and still are, like things like the G50. I still love my G50. I still like the way it operates. I still like the blue chips, the dividend payers, the US companies, and getting 50 of what we believe are the best, our money managers believe are the best of those, then that's what we like, right? That's a nice tried and true type of portfolio. Every single company pays a dividend. You have about 200 dividend payments. Almost every trading day of the year, you have a dividend payment that's coming into your account. And you can think of it like that. That's pretty cool. You're getting paid on your money. So back when interest rates were so low, we were turning to these dividend stocks in order to find yield, find income for clients. Now we're kind of at a more of like a neutral, or coming down a little bit, but we're at that point where we're seeing good market returns, but we're also seeing good safe money returns, which is exciting.
Yeah. Well, and I forgive me. Yeah, the jobs numbers, it didn't look good, but other indicators are looking pretty good. So I don't think there's reason to panic, right?
No, I don't think so at all either. But, and I say, it depends on where you are. Don't panic. No, you're exactly right. But make sure you're taking proper precautions. If you're a 45-year-old listener right now, then you don't need to take probably as many precautions if this money is long-term money. If it's our age 65 money, or age 60 money, or age 70, or whenever you want to retire, we have time, to recover if we do see a market downturn. But if you're a 65-year-old listener, or you're 5 years out from retirement, we don't want to panic, but we want to make sure that you're allocated appropriately.
Yeah. 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 Don't panic. But again, you do have to be allocated appropriately. And, interest rates affect that because, like you said, some of the safer money options where you're going to make a set percentage, you want that to be as big as possible to keep up with inflation, yet minimize risk where there's no downside. So you have to really balance that because you still need growth because of inflation, right?
That's exactly right. And again, we see the U.S. markets being some of that more stable side.
Yeah.
So if we can have both, that's fantastic. That's the perfect world. But we never live in a perfect world, so it's always trying to find that for the right person. And and we can look at different options too, Tony. Like I pulled a few things up here. And again, this is not a promotion of any type of investment or product. It's just kind of, I want to let people know what's out there. Okay. So we're not the only the only investment firm that can offer this, blah, blah, blah. But, you have companies like Morgan Stanley, for instance. You can participate in the Dow and the S&P 500, and you can make, it's uncapped. It's a 24-month structured note with Morgan Stanley. You participate in the market at 103%. Okay, so if the market did 10, you'd do 10.3. That's what that means. So 103% participation rate. And level of protection, 15%. So the first 15% is absorbed. So if the market's down 15%, it's absorbed typically, but this is a dual directional. So anything negative down to 15%. So if the markets were down 15%, you'd be up 15%. Now, if the markets are down 16%, you're down 1. So that's where that dual shuts off right there. But if you think of it, you have 15% on the downside that you can actually make a positive return up. And then you have unlimited cap on the upside, and you're still participating in Dow and S&P 500. That's what it's based off of. But again, it's something like Morgan Stanley that offers this. UBS, they have 100% protection. So it's not dual, but it's just 100% protection. You put your money in, it's 100% protected, and that's a guarantee by UBS. So if they go broke, I imagine that you're not. It's not going to be good for you. But we're talking about a large UBS or Morgan Stanley.
They're
big
huge,
banks,
yeah.
right? Again, Dow and S&P 500, 18-month, and you can make up to 12.7%. 100% protection rate.
Wow.
So again, this isn't a solicitation of a particular product.
And it's not individual. It's not individual investment advice for any one particular person, because you have to look at their situation before recommending that specifically to any one person. But I think it's good for all our listeners and viewers out there to know that these things are available. I mean, that buffered index portfolio, the options with 100% protection, so there's no downside, but you do get to participate in the upside of the Dow or the S&P 500. That seems like a win-win and a no-brainer, but you have to look at the limitations and the time period. Like, okay, how much money should I put into that? You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And when can I access that money? And those types of questions have to be asked.
Yeah, it's very, how's it fit in the overall plan? And I bring this all up because people are asking, geez, how can I still participate? I don't really want to make like the 4% or 3% stable value or bond money rate or whatever it's making, but how can I participate in the market without so much downside risk? That's what we're worried about, because we are 5 years away from retirement, or we're in retirement. And so we look at options like this saying, hey, there are so many options out there, and you might not like one of them, and that's fine, because we can find something else that you will like. That's the beautiful thing about this whole investment world, and the beautiful thing about being independent is we truly get to look across the board and say, hey, what's out there? What's going on? It's not like we're with any one company that says, hey, we have to offer or sell your type of products.
Right. And there are so many of those big box companies or brokers who either they want all your money invested in the market, or they want
all of it in annuities.
All of it in annuities, the majority of it in annuities, or they're just there to sell you insurance products. You look at all the possibilities, whether it's a Roth IRA, whether it's a buffered index portfolio, whether it's, some higher risk stocks for growth, a portion of it for that, whether it's an insurance product like a MYGA that can act like that's basically a CD.
It's a multi-year guarantee annuity is what a MYGA is.
But but usually you can do a little bit better than a CD. And lock in some returns that'll at least keep up with inflation or do better than inflation. So there are a lot of options out there. Some are good for a lot of people. Some aren't good for certain other people. It's just like anything else. You got to look at all the options though to see, okay, this is our goal. This is our timeline. What's going to fit that?
Right. How do we fit it into your plan? At the end of the day, how do I create an income plan for you? And that's what, it comes down to really that when we're talking about retirement too, definitely legacy, preservation, growth. But, most Americans, they want to know where their income is coming from in retirement, and they want to know that it's going to last. And maybe where it's coming from, maybe they don't really care where it's coming from. I imagine most people do, but some people don't. How about it's going to last as long as I do? If I live to 103 years old, is my income still going to last? And average life expectancy for a 65-year-old male is like 82 years old. Average for a 65-year-old female is 84 years old, right around those numbers. So we know those averages, but Tony might live to 96 years old, right? or it could be the flip side. But that's the whole thing, though. We don't know.
Nobody knows the day or time.
Yeah, I have to plan out. You'll see reports on my Compass reports on my income plans. You'll see these numbers going out to 100 or 100 more. I'll project a 75-year-old going out 30 years, and they're like, Bill, there's no way I'm going to live 30 years. I said, that's okay, but your money will. And so if you do pass at 88 years old, this is what your beneficiaries, your legacy, your kids, your charities, this is what they're getting at that time. Or if you need extended care or long-term care, this is the bucket that we have to draw from. This is where it is at this point. We can't, we can't play God.
No.
Right. And I don't know when something's going to happen or when you're going to get called up, but I can plan on the income part. And I can have those, if we're talking about God, I can have those come to Jesus meetings with you, because people will say, are you going to tell me if I'm spending too much? And some guys will be like, sure I will, but they'll never say anything because they want to make it always seem perfectly rosy.
Yeah.
Right. But I want to make sure that your money is going to last. So I'm going to tell you, no, if you do this, you're going to run out of money in 10 years. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
Or, hey, we're going to make a big excess withdrawal to buy this down the road. And this is how it affects you. So if you want to do that, fantastic. It's your money, but this is the effect it's going to have on your portfolio and your lifetime income and your guaranteed, not guaranteed income numbers, but your income numbers.
Yeah. And that's what you do. That's how you help your clients and people you meet with. And so I want to encourage our listeners to go to paradvisor.com or thebigomoneyshow.com.
Bigomoney.com.
Oh, Big O Money. Yeah. Bigomoney.com. That's right.
I think we have a lot of like what are they, the URLs, or a lot of
they forward to the same place. Yeah.
Direct, just in case. We're giving our listeners the best opportunity to find us. So if you mistype it, you're going to get us.
Big O Money.
We're also on the YouTube too, right?
Yep. YouTube. You're on there. All you have to do is look up Big O Money Show or Altman, and that'll come up. Bill Altman and the Big O Money Show.
How about that?
Yeah.
And you can listen from anywhere, and you can stream it through iHeartRadio. If you're just wanting to hear that show before anybody else, and you're going to hear it at 8:06 a.m. Central Time on Sunday mornings, KFAB, 1110 KFAB, The Torch here in Omaha, you're going to hear it on there every Sunday morning for like the past forever many years.
Yeah, we're right here on The Torch.
Yeah, so on your iHeart Radio app, you can actually go to that, find our show and listen to it, or go to KFAB, listen to it from there, right on the old radio in the car. That's my preference. I like it.
I like listening to it when it airs. I really do. Yeah. Yeah. And being part of that KFAB Nation, lots of good stuff on there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I tell you what, I was even getting KFAB Nation up in the Sandhills this past week. I had to go visit with a client up there. And Sandhills is like cattle ranch land up by Thedford and Halsey, and going up to 2 right there. And you can go a couple different ways. You can go through Broken Bow, or you can go the kind of the north route. They're both about the same distance and same hours. I went one way on the way there and one way on the way back. I was there for about 24 hours, and it's a wonderful, beautiful country, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, now back into, we'll call it, reality. And we had lunch at a place, Ladies in Halsey. It's like the only restaurant type place in Halsey. She said they're open at 7 a.m. every day, and they close down when everybody leaves. And that's about it. And there's not a lot of people. When I say everybody, Tony, it's not a lot. But I was hearing the Torch from up there.
That's awesome.
And I was like, and it's clear as day, right on AM. And that's about 4 hours. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good wavelength, or bandwidth, or whatever.
Pretty coverage, yeah. Pretty good coverage, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, signal.
Yeah.
Making stuff
The
up
signal
now.
coverage is great with KFAB. Yeah, it's a powerhouse. It's a heritage station. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, love it. So, we're getting out there. We're reaching the kids all over the place. Right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. But, so it just comes back to, just want to remind everybody, have that plan, have that income plan. And if you don't have something physical in your hands, or at least where you can go online and pull it up on your vault, we have a generational vault here that you log in. It's fantastic. Again, bigomoney.com. You're going to find it top right-hand corner. Act like you're clicking in as a client, or get your risk score, and then you can create your own vault, bigomoney.com. Anyway, when we're creating these, and you have something tangible in your hands, or you can see with your eyes, and you can see that, if the market only does this, and we're adding in all the other variables too that could happen, not all, but variables that could happen where market dips come into play, or whatever comes into play, we can take all that, Tony, and say, this is where you stand. If the market does poorly, this is where you stand. If the market does well, this is where you stand. What we want to do is try to build something that levels out the peaks and valleys in retirement. We're going to have peaks and valleys. You're going to have them with your own personal life, and the market's going to have them with its own personal life, right? The broad markets. There's always going to be the peaks and valleys, but how can we level that out, and then less stress? make your money last longer. And whether or not you want to try to bounce your last check, which is crazy, only crazy because we don't know when when that last check's going to have to be written. That's the problem, right? We don't want to write it too early. Or we plan for that legacy side. And then what's left over after taxes, and how do the kids or whoever's getting this money, how do they get it with the least amount of taxes paid? What's Nebraska inheritance taxes, for instance? If I don't have any kids and it's all going to a friend, it's a lot more. If it's going to kids and anything over $100,000 is 1%. That's the lowest. That's the Nebraska inheritance tax. Do you have a federal inheritance tax plan or issue problem, an issue? Yeah. You have a lot of farmland in your family or a business in your family that it's not like you have all this money sitting in the bank or sitting in accounts. It's not like you feel that you're super wealthy.
Yeah, if you have a family farm, there's no liquidity, Bill.
What are we going to do? We got to sell it, right? So you'd sell it or you insure for it. People buy these like irrevocable life insurance trust situations where they can actually insure for that tax benefit, so the family farm stays in the farm and doesn't have to be auctioned off.
But a lot of people end up having to lose the family farm that's been in the family since it was homesteaded because they have no liquidity to pay the estate tax or inheritance tax on it.
And the big money people, the people that do have the hundreds of millions in their pocket, they love it when this happens because they get to come in and pounce on it.
Yeah.
Make you the quick offer. All 7 kids get paid and they pay their inheritance taxes and away it goes.
Yeah.
Right. But the big legacy farm, though, is no longer a legacy farm. It's now Mr. Moneybags farm.
Yeah.
He has the other 40,000 acres adjacent.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why we're seeing these small towns just continue to go down in population more and more and more.
Yep.
Or roads getting closed down between one town and the other town because the guy owns both sides and he petitioned to close the easement because he no longer need it. And boom.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's happening all over the place. And yeah, it's sad to see it happening. But if you have a plan, if you have a family business or a family farm, you gotta put some steps in place, a strategy in place, and make sure you're working with a trusted financial professional like your team there. I mean, you have the tax professionals, you have the Medicare professionals, specialists. I just think that's great, Bill, that they can just come there and you have everyone looking at the big picture, working together to come up with a plan to make sure that your money or your family business ends up where you want it to, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And keep harmony and peace in your family.
Yes.
That's the goal. Make it easy, allow you to enjoy life, enjoy your family without all the stresses that come that are involved in, probate, not having the proper legal document, not being insured properly, all the different things that could come up. Let's eliminate all that hassle, right? Let's eliminate that so you can do what you want to do. So whether it's going fishing or traveling or seeing your kids or grandkids or whatever the situation is, we want to make it your decision to do that, not the stresses that come with the real world stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great. So how can our listeners get a hold of you, Bill, to set up that no charge, no obligation consultation?
Sure, Tony. Yeah, it's I can't talk. Our phone number here in Omaha locally is 402-557-6730. Again, right here in Omaha, 402-557-6730. You can also go to bigomoney.com. And you can find everything out there and check us out and create your vault and request an appointment and find all of our contact info. Again, bigomoney.com. All the social media sites, Tony, the Facebooks, the Twitters and all that, or the X's. Sorry, the X's. Got to get with the times here.
Yeah,
right?
get with the times.
Yeah. And then the YouTube. And so you can look at past shows and now they're all on video. So that's how you do it.
Awesome. Well, great show today. And listeners, that does it for today's episode of the Big O Money Show with our host, Bill Altman.